Praise be Jesus Christ and Mary Immaculate. Welcome to this homily for the 26th Sunday in Ordinary Time. We're going to read from the Gospel of Luke chapter 16, verses 19 to 31, a very well-known story of the rich man who has no name and Lazarus. The Gospel today tells us a story about two men who lived side by side, yet in two completely different worlds, both here on earth and, as we will see, even also in heaven. One was rich, dressed in purple garments and fine clothing. He ate scrumptious meals every day, feasting every day. And the other was poor, lying at his door, hungry and covered with sores. His name was Lazarus, which actually means God helps. So maybe the rich man didn't even notice that God help was at his door. The point of the story is not simply that one man was rich and that the other man was poor. The real issue is that the rich man could not go deeper, could not see deeper, could not see beyond himself. We could actually say he lived a real crusted life. He stayed only at the crust, just like a pie. The crust is on the top. He never really knew what kind of pie it really was. He didn't go deeper. It's like a pizza. You have the pizza crust on the sides. He never really bit any more into it. So he didn't enjoy what kind of pizza he was. He was a man who lived only on the crust of his life, on the crust of society. Only beyond. He did not see anything beyond himself. He lived only on the surface of things. His clothing, his banquets, his comfort. He was an expert in appearances, but blind to what really mattered. Lazarus, on the other hand, was right there, at his very doorstep. God's help was at his doorstep, but the rich man never really noticed him. He saw, but he did not recognize. He looked, but he did not care. And isn't that a great challenge for us today? We live in a world filled with images and noise and distractions and appearances. We have crusts everywhere. It is so easy to stay on the surface, to worry about how things look or how successful we seem, and we miss the deeper reality of things, the beauty of going deeper. But we were made for more. We were not made for the crust. We were not meant for the edges or just for the top. From the very beginning, God created us in His image and in His likeness, with the capacity to look beyond all appearances and to see His presence in one another. Jesus Christ shows us this truth in the clearest way. He is the image of the invisible God, and in Him the divine and the human come together in perfect unity. In Jesus, God made man and God manifested. In Him we discover what it is to really see and what it means to really see. To worship God is not first about sacrifices or rituals. That's staying on the crust level. It's about doing the will of the Father, which is to love, to go deeper, to really taste the essence of God. At the Last Supper, Jesus gave us the Eucharist, and at the same time, He knelt down to wash the feet of His disciples. He went deeper. Worship and service became one and the same thing. We cannot separate worship from service to our brothers and sisters. To serve our brothers and sisters, especially the poor, is the most authentic way of loving God. Jesus Himself told us in the Gospel of Matthew, whatever you did for the least of these, you did it for me. And whatever you did not do for the least, you did not do it to me. And so we come to the end of today's Gospel. The rich man is described as someone who could not see beyond the crust of life. He was trapped in the surface of things, and that surface became his prison. He knew well the world of appearances, fine clothes, banquets, statuses, but he never really went deeper. He never saw the substance. He never entered into a relationship. He never recognized God's presence in the poor man's at his gate. He never recognized that God's help was at his gate. In the end, he was buried. And he died and was buried. And he was buried in the very crust that he lived for, sealed inside a shallow world that only led to death, a place of torment. Lazarus, however, whose name means God's help, he was lifted up. He was taken up to Abraham's bosom, heaven. His life was fragile, poor, ignored, but God saw him, because God always sees what is hidden beneath the surface. The destiny of each man was written in how they lived. One clung to the crust, the other one was carried by God deep into life. My brothers and sisters, our eternal future is being written now in the daily life that we see or that we fail to see. In God's help that is at our door, that we see and acknowledge or we ignore. Every encounter is an invitation, and we will remain prisoners of the surface, or we will look deeper and recognize the face of Christ in those who need us. May the Lord give us eyes to see beyond appearances, beyond the crust, to discover the substance of love that leads us into his kingdom, that we never ever be satisfied with just the tip of the finger, knowing that we have been baptized, submerged into the eternal life of God himself. God bless you.